Welcome everybody to my proof of concept design for cargo pods for the SpaceX Starship Super Heavy rocket. This is half of the retaining bracket, the bottom one. It's designed for 40-foot shipping containers, the same ones that go on ocean-going vessels, so that we can standardize transport. Obviously, it's going to be heavy, but with the Raptor engines continually going through upgrades, and the fact that I have zero engineering knowledge, this is just best guesses, I'm figuring we can get the weight down and make the benefits of the standardization outweigh the consequences of the extra weight. So in all corners, we've got the brackets for the regular standard shipping container tabs. I can show you one of those here. So here's a standard one. Basically, this top part, the triangular part here, is it can rotate around through 90 degrees. So it goes up through a hole, which is the same size as you can see here around the outside there, and then it rotates 90 degrees to lock into place. Now, if you've seen these before, you'll probably realize that there is the handle missing on here. Now, one of the ways we're going to upgrade this for space travel is we're going to have them all electrically operated. Because obviously SpaceX has ties to Tesla with their batteries, so let's just use everything off the shelf that we can. Okay, so next is... here's... Oh, that's just it with the shipping container. That's the wrong one. Here, though, I do want to point out that we do have the forklift attachments. I don't have the design for my forklift yet, but obviously in space we're not going to be using counterbalance, so it's sort of a rover design where the forks connect in the middle, and it will be driving lengthwise. Okay, let me get back to the, yeah, here's the full container. So that part will be inserted into the sort of shell of the cargo pod, which is right over here. So here I've got it exploded out. I don't know why the skin's not showing up for the cargo bay. It's easier to see inside anyway. So this is a heat shield on top. Heat shield's going to be there so that when we don't have to deal with the seams at the doors, for the cargo bay doors, and same with our landing gear doors over here. Also, let me get this back in the center. These are Raptor-sized engines. I don't know how much thrust we're going to need, but we've got more than enough there in the two of them. So it's going to re-enter. First, I'm designing these for Mars. I've got some videos in a video game called Kerbal Space Program that I'm going to show you in a bit. But the first application for these is taking cargo to Mars. Now eventually it's going to be for bringing it back to Earth, and I'll get to that in a bit, but we'll stick a pin in that for now. So basically we've got a lot of room for the landing gear in here, and it's one of those, I figured I got this far and I was trying to design some fancy landing gear. I don't mean like overly complicated, but just elegant looking. And then I realized it would be a good shot to give other people a chance at doing it so that I can see how they work, and they can show any ideas that they might have. Because just because this is my idea doesn't mean that I want to, you know, hoard it to myself. I just want it to be successful and get some business relationships going with some spacecraft companies. So let me get rid of some of the stuff in here, like the heat shield. And that one. There we go. So around the edges, these are our fuel tanks. Now I know they're not that big, but we can extend it if need be. If we're really, really short on fuel, we can design these to make, say, to take 20-foot shipping containers, and we'll put 3 in there instead of, so it'll only be 60 feet instead of 40 feet. That should give quite a significant increase in fuel. which I'll get to on returning to Earth. Actually, I'll get into it right now. My idea is these wings are actually going to be to have it re-enter similar to the space shuttle and glide to runways, so that when we eventually get some sort of space infrastructure up and running and we are bringing stuff back, because whether it's medical advances that are more easily done in zero-G, or manufacturing or anything, we're going to have a lot of stuff coming back, hopefully, and I want it to get onto a truck as soon as possible. So that's the idea behind that. Work in progress. And let me get rid of some of these fuel tanks. And there's our basic internal structure. Now again, I have not actually done any math on this. I've just done it, just a visual proof of concept. Clearly, that's not going to be, well, it can definitely be improved on, because there's a lot of load paths that are sort of just large and open there. But the whole idea is that the containers, if I can actually move them, are going to sit right up in here and actually be a part of the structure. So the skin, like, it'll be semi-monocoque, but we're going to use, because we got all this dead weight, well, hopefully not dead weight, but the actual strength of the shipping container, we can use that. What else do I want to say? Basically, with the landing gear, and I've got the landing gear doors. I'm working on those. You can kind of see this contour out here, which is going to be, we're going to have a fairing for the landing gear doors there. Actually, I'll go to the other end so you can see it a bit better. But we're going to have a fairing that comes down there that attaches to the engine section there. And just because I've designed way too much extra into this bottom bracket, I think we can make that half as big, but I just wanted to put extra in there, because if we have to take it out, no big deal. So that's that. And when it lands, it's going to be probably a little bit lower than that, but the whole way it'll actually get out to high enough for a rover forklift to be able to remove these things is we're going to have telescoping jack screws, basically. So it's not going to be as fast as the actual landing gear needed to land, but once it's landed, we got, more time then, because we're not flying anymore. We're actually on the ground, and also we're on Mars, so it's 0.39 gravity. So I mean, we can save some more weight in not having this as beefy, like attached to the landing gear system, basically. We're going to have to see how well that works for the Earth ones. And also with the Earth ones, we're going to have to get a wheeled landing gear system. I'm figuring just regular landing legs for this, because, we're dealing with sand and stuff like that. But on the Earthbound ones, I want it to be, on a runway, basically, so we can save some fuel. I've got an idea where we can actually attach parachutes to it. And, in emergencies where, let's just say something happens to it, whatever it is, that it's got a backup, so we're not just dropping this cargo onto the Earth after we made it in space. It's just like falling into the ocean or something. We're going to be able to do something with it to get it in, hopefully undamaged. And, so that will all attach to what's not closing on here? Why is it not letting me do this? Yes, save all. Yes, okay, fine, rebuild. So that's all going to attach to our starship there. And now I don't think I have the correct one here, because I was trying to do the exploded view. But where are we? Cargo pod assembly. I'll see if I can just put it beside so you guys get a. Oops, I'm opening it. Don't need that. Assembly 1. Insert. Cargo pod. Oop. Oop, oop, oop. So there's our size comparison. So we're going to have 2 of them on there. And I just put the flaps on there because otherwise it just looks like a cylinder with a cone on the top. But this is going to be one that, well, my plan is that it's going to be a Mars Cycler. So it'll launch as regular with just the Starship with the Super Heavy as a booster and make it to Earth orbit. Then we're going to launch 2 cargo pods along with some fuel, and they're going to meet up in orbit, and then they're going to make the burn for Mars. So that way we don't have to deal with any interference with aerodynamics on the ascent, and hopefully, because we're dealing with something that's already in orbit, already going at a significant speed, we can hopefully even load up more weight on these cargo pods than we normally would when we're, thinking of the Apollo project or anything like that. Just because without, they had to lift everything off the ground at once. So there was no way that, they could have done it, obviously. They had the technology. They were looking at doing Earth orbit rendezvous and stuff like that. But this is, we'll see what happens. These are all just ideas I'm tossing around. And so, yeah, it's going to be on a free return trajectory to Mars, hopefully. Well, it depends on how it all works out timing-wise, how many of these things there are, because I don't know how much infrastructure there's going to be on Mars. There's not much point sending like 1,000 of these if there's nobody to unload them, kind of thing. But we'll see what happens. But basically, it'll get to the perigee of the or periapsis of the free return, and the cargo pods will separate and land. So that's about as far as I've gotten. I've probably rambled on long enough. So yeah, have a good one, everybody.